Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Breakthrough with Coach Lou. It is Monday morning, or whenever you're listening or watching this, depending on the venue you listen or watch on. Today, we're going to talk about what is the difference. And you might say, what do you mean? What's the difference between what? Well, all month long, we've been discussing owning your future, not having somebody else in control of your future. How do you take control? Is it worth it? Is it worth putting in this effort? And my answer is always going to be yes to that. If you are in control of your own decisions, your own emotions, you are definitely going to be miles ahead of most. And this isn't a foot race between you and everybody else. And this isn't a competition to get on top and climb the corporate ladder. This is mostly a competition with yourself. How can you go into each week when you join onto this show on Monday morning and make it better for you, your family, your loved ones, your community, and your world than you did last week? How could you take one distinction from today and make it into a life-changing decision? So I'll ask you again, what's the difference from when we started at the beginning of May? When we started in the beginning of May, we talked about, taking control. We worked through how to do that. We worked through some exercises. You learned about taking action, because action is key. You can know it all day long. If you don't do it, nothing happens. Now, there is that possibility that you do it and you fall flat on your face. Then what? Then somebody turns around and says, see, coach, this doesn't work. Well, I tend to disagree. If you fall flat on your face and you get up and dust yourself off and go, oh, I learned what not to do this time, or you know what, I should have done this instead, whammo, different ball game, a new distinction, and you got to go back in and swing. If you're a baseball player, okay, not my favorite sport, to be honest with you. I like a little more of an active sport. I'm more of a participation. I want to be in something than just watching it. But a baseball player, for instance, strike. That's it. I quit. Really? How many Babe Ruths would there be in this world, or or Jeters, or anybody else, if they just said, oh, one strike and I'm out? Well, what about if they get 3 strikes and they really are out? Do they go home for the day? No, they come back up to bat at some point and they act like that didn't happen and they go forward, or they go, you know what? I know how this pitcher throws the curve, okay? Now I'm looking back and I know how he got me. Now I'm prepared. Boom, home run. What's the difference? The difference is not quitting and not going, I'm a victim because the referee didn't call it right, okay? No, you looked and said, what am I missing here? Oh, now I see how he got me. Boom, I can change this. I can make this happen. What a concept. All right, you see where I'm going with this, guys? This is really amazing stuff. So since you've made some decisions and been doing your homework the past couple of weeks, the past few weeks, and I assume you've been following through, let me ask you, are some of the differences big or little? Sometimes you might go, it's just a little difference, but some of the little differences make the outstanding changes. But it's the difference in you, big or little. What about the way you wake up in the morning? What about the way you get ready? What about the way you're treating other people? What about the way you lead? Show up in your relationship, show up in your business, show up at work, show up in your community. What has changed? What is the difference from the time we started this series this month in the beginning of May till now? Is it better or worse? Has your life gotten better? If you're taking action and you're making plans, you're taking action, you're deciding, you're following through, I would imagine probably the differences are a little bit bigger and your life is a little bit better. It might not be easier. Easy and better do not mean the same thing. Easy is probably the death of most great creation, the death of most great people. Taking the easy road is wiping us out. Okay? I just saw a thing this morning, and I'm not a huge news fan of that, but Wendy's is going to this robotic serving thing and people are upset. And I'm like, well, I see both sides of the coin on this. And you're like, ooh, this is weird for you. Usually you're kind of about the people side of it. I am, but the people aren't showing up. They're not making a difference at Wendy's. Okay? If you go into the Wendy's by our place, and I mean, I'm not a big fan of that kind of food anyway, but if you go in there, you think you're annoying these kids that are working there. It's like, oh God, a customer. Well, no wonder they're going to get replaced. The problem is at what point do people work for a living? At what point do human beings do something else but sit? Okay, you start to wonder, but which came first, the horse or the carriage on this one? Is it the company being greedy? Or is it the company just realizing that at least the robot won't be rude and nasty to a customer? It won't show you it's inconvenienced by you coming and showing up. I'm not a fan of taking human jobs and handing them over to automation in a lot of cases. I am a huge fan of technology and growth and making things more efficient, yes. But it makes me cringe because I get a double-edged feel of this. Is it going to be better or worse? Is the difference going to be big or little? I think the difference is going to be big if people don't wake up and start going in with a better attitude to work and so forth, because you're going to not have the opportunities if you don't show up. You got to show up, whether it's your own business or whether it's you're working for somebody, whether you're a mom or a dad taking care of your kids or a teacher. You got to show up and make it better each day, even if it's slight and incremental. Okay? Is your change since the beginning of the month been profound or meh? I don't know if I like that, meh. But meh has become a thing because meh is what most of the world lives in the state of meh. How you feeling? What's meh? You really want to feel meh? Or do you want to feel outstanding? You want to feel great? Or you know what? Frankly, I feel like shit today. I got a cold and I don't feel good and blah, 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 blah. And I'm up anyway and I'm conquering it. Feels a lot better than, I don't feel good. You see what I'm saying? This is so subjective, yet so within your control. This is what I'm trying to get through to you guys. Okay, I'm not always going to tell you what you want to hear. Okay, it's so funny because I love when people send me things and go, hey, I got a suggestion. And sometimes it's like, oh, I don't necessarily want to hear that. And then sometimes I'm like, well, there's something good in here. There's a good piece. And then there's part of it that's downright offensive with some of the things people say to you. And you're like, you could word that a little better. But it's like, but you don't take only the whole thing. You got to go, what serves me and what doesn't? Same thing with this show. What serves me and what doesn't? I've had people, you said something on your auction and I was going to turn it off. Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, on a Friday night, 6 hours, 600 items, and one thing I say doesn't sit with you and you're going to shut it off? Really? There's a lot that doesn't sit right with me from people that I do business with or listen to or my customers, and I look at the overall and go, okay, well, sometimes you can be an ass or, you might not be in the perfect mood for me, but I don't say, I don't want you as a customer anymore because you weren't in the perfect mood today. My God, if I did that, I'd have no customers because everybody has a bad day or so forth. But then you look and go, wait a minute, if somebody's giving you some feedback, there is some value in there. How about giving yourself some feedback and getting some value in there? So is your change profound or meh? Is your suggestion to somebody, if you're going to suggest something, is it profound where they go, wow, what a cool idea? Or is it like, maybe? If you're leading your company Are your employees going, wow, this is going to be awesome. Wow, this is a great idea. Wow, I'm on board. Or, okay, it's another one of his ideas. These are the things that I'm asking you. Is this change that you've experienced, this difference that you've experienced this month, profound or meh? Okay, so we started out in May with may I or will you? And we really talked about not asking for effing permission about everything. Oh, I got to talk to my mom before I can start a business, I don't want to upset the family. Or I don't want to stay in the family business and I don't want to upset dad, but I got to talk to him before I say I'd really like to work somewhere else. And, he might say no. What do you mean say no? Dad is not the Gestapo ruler king. Dad should be somebody you look up to. Dad should be somebody who has your best interests at heart. Dad should be your rock. But, if you want to go start your own business and you don't want to be in the family business, and that's really your thing because you don't like selling finger splints and that's your family business and you don't want to do that. You want to make courses and sell courses or whatever you want to do, or you want to be a fitness trainer, or you want to go join the army. That's you. You're not going to sit there and always ask permission. Oh, can I? You got to step up and take responsibility. The question is, will you? You have a dream, will you follow it, or are you going to ask everybody about it? You're going to ask your broke friend about, should I go in this business? And they're going to go, no, I tried something once and I failed. And look at me. Go stick with the security of your job. You have health insurance. Okay, well, if you go into business, you can get health insurance too, folks. See, and I'm not saying you got to go into business and dump your job. I'm not everybody's cut out for business on themselves. Not everybody even wants to be in business for themselves. Maybe you have an amazing career that fulfills you and you're like, I wouldn't leave this for anything. I could even make more money somewhere else and I still wouldn't leave it because I'm fulfilled. And I would tell you, you're making the right decision. If you're fulfilled in what you do, my God, that is the ultimate goal. Yes, you need to make a living. Yes, you want to be financially successful. But success without fulfillment, my friends, is truly failure. It really is. If you have all the things around you and, you could look behind me and I go, oh, look at all this cool stuff I have. And this is success. And I've got a great studio to come to you from and a great team and a great family and everybody's amazing. Okay. No, they're pains in the asses at times. My closest people to me are the ones that could aggravate me the most at times, but I wouldn't trade them for the world because they are great and amazing. Okay, but it doesn't mean that everything's kumbaya and we sit around beanbags all day long, sipping on little espressos and philosophizing about the way things should be done. And, no, we get down to it, down and dirty and kick ass. And sometimes we growl at each other and everything else. But you know what? At the end of the day, I woun't trade them for anything. Any of my family, my team, my loved ones, no way. Wouldn't trade you all for anything. If you're watching, don't let it go to your head too much. We still got a shitload to get done today when I get in the office. Now, you know what I mean, guys. I'm serious. But the thing of it is you can't ask permission all the time. You got to give yourself permission, okay? That's the biggest part of it. Give yourself the permission to go forward, to do what you need to do, to what you feel best. Now, the second side to that is you're going to own it, okay? You're going to own it if you fail, succeed, or whatever it is. It's yours. But you never really fail if you learn and grow and make a difference. That's the thing. You can fall flat on your face. You can go dead broke. You can lose it all, this, that, and the other. But if you learn something and you come out the other side stronger and you've done the right things and you've done the ethics and you own it and you don't blame. I'm gonna give up a blame game right here. Okay? Let me be very candid and open with you. 2008. Tooling along, doing amazing, have great real estate investments. Life is great, lots of inventory in my business, just everything's going on. I don't know if I was the happiest guy in the world. I don't know if I was as fulfilled as I should have been, but stuff-wise and future-wise, it looked really bright. 2008 comes along and Felt like everything, it got me. The banks got me. The real estate market got me. The poor government choices got me. The gas prices, it got me. It took me down. Okay? And then one day I kind of shifted and I was like, all right, well, what do I have left? Opportunity, the abilities, me, my brand, healthy family, healthy child, a lot of greatness there, and one of my business associates says to me, why are you so happy? Don't you know what happened to you? And I said, well, I still got the ability to rebuild and make a living. Child is healthy and happy and well, I got a great kid. I got, great possibilities. And I learned. I said, I got my Harvard education 4 times over here. And they were like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I learned what to watch for, what not to do, how to anticipate after it was a little late. I said, in the price tag, what I lost, I went to Harvard 4 or 5 times, maybe 10 times. Felt like I got my head knocked off. But the reality is I wasn't really paying attention. I was a little too big for my shoes in here instead of going, hey, be responsible. What could go wrong? Watch the market trends. You can't walk around with something goes wrong, I'll just sell the property and that'll cure it. You got to be able to sell them to do that. But the thing is right here and now, I can no longer, and I will no longer ever use 2008 as an excuse why I got derailed back in that decade. Okay? That's it. I'm done with it because we can always crutch on it. And I crutch on it sometimes. I'm like, I drive by one of the properties I used to own and I loved it. It was my big one. It was supposed to be the big win, which turned out to be the big loss. But did it. Learned a lesson. But I go by and, well, if 2008 hadn't happened, we'd still own that. No, we wouldn't be and nothing would be the same if we hadn't gone through these processes. Nothing, I wouldn't be right here, maybe right here, right now with you this morning. And it made me appreciate and go, but then I also had to realize I got to let go of that, just like I encourage everybody else to. And I'm like, well, I'm over it. And then every once in a while, I'll get into a conversation. Oh man, 2008 took me down at the knees. And I'm like, oh, I'm still going back there and using it as a crutch, as an excuse. Well, here publicly, I'm denouncing it. I'm done with that. Doesn't matter what happened in 2008. The only thing that matters is that might have brought me to be able to communicate with you today. That might have made the shifts within me that created something like Breakthrough with Lou instead of being a car dealer, an auctioneer, and a property mogul mindset, and that was it. Kind of unfulfilling in a lot of ways. And I've found a lot more fulfillment since, and there's more to come. But there you go. That's me being very candid and open. I was still doing the thing I'm telling you not to do. Up until last week, I was having the conversation of, oh my God, what 2008 did to me. Okay? No, I own it. There it is. Ooh, that's like a relief off the shoulders. Okay? So, yeah. So give yourself permission to go. Then we talked about who really owns your future. Okay? This is where you took responsibility, what I just did. You can't blame the boss. You can't blame the ex-wife, the ex-husband, the bad business partner. We've all had this stuff. That's not unique. Okay? It's not unique if you've been in business with a business partner and you've been in business at long times or multiple businesses. I guarantee you had a business partner that was either lazy, didn't work, ripped you off, screwed up, did something wrong, etc. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you didn't meet the business partner of your dreams out of high school and 20, 30 years later you're still going strong. If you did, you are the anomaly and God bless you. But chances are, if you had a business partner, if you've been in business with somebody else in a partnership situation, you have gotten screwed, or you may have screwed them over inadvertently. But my point there is taking that responsibility. Then we checked in to see what you had actually done and, figured out. What have you done? Are you actually taking action? And now, today, we start to measure the results. That's what today is all about. with this what is the difference. A month into this, a few weeks into it, or a week into since last week, what's different? What's measurably different in your world because you're taking action? You stopped asking for everybody's permission to do something that's for you. You stopped making excuses. You started taking action. You clarified what you want. What is done? What's changed? What has already changed? How do you feel about that? Okay, now if you're on a roll, taking this out 1 month, 6 months, a year, etc., what do you expect from this decision? If you didn't make a decision, or you didn't change anything, and you're just getting through it still, what's that going to look like in a month, 6 months, in a year if you don't make any change, as opposed to if you step up and go? It's not going to be easy. Okay, that's not what I'm not selling you a bill of goods. This is some get rich quick program. This is no program. This is the Breakthrough with Lou show. This isn't, oh, you're going to buy this and get rich in 6 months. There's nothing to buy today, okay? It's buy into you, all right? And not saying that courses and programs aren't good, because I have courses and courses and programs are amazing. Self-education is the what's making the world go round these days. The typical education is antiquated. I would say unless you're going to be a doctor or something like that, yes, you still need that education, but there's a lot of cutting edge that doctors are going into that isn't taught in the university that's really making a difference. Okay, but still, if you're going to be a doctor, you got to get that base education. But other than that, your self-education is really, really where you're at. Okay, so picturing a year out from now with these new habits and results you're getting, it's amazing. As you plan and practice and do, you're going to learn, grow, and develop the winning habits that become what? A recipe for your success. If you go the whole next year and you've decided and really focused on your business and how to grow it and this, that, and you do it and it follows through and you go, wow, this worked. This didn't work so well. This worked great. This in between was, a really steady growth. Now you've got a recipe book for success. Maybe your relationship, maybe you're on the verge of divorce right now, and in a year you've got an amazing relationship built back with your spouse, and you have this recipe for success of what works. She loves flowers. Getting her flowers once in a while, get you a little more bedroom time. Well, why wouldn't you get flowers? You do it one time and go, oh, wow. And then you don't do it again for a year, you'll be back in the same boat in a year. She loves flowers, get her flowers. He loves his back massage, girls. Give him a back massage once in a while when he gets home from work from a tough day. Because if you go, well, God, when I do that, he's just like, he turns from a bear to this loving, amazing man. Do more of what works. That's what this is really about. You get the recipes, okay? You get the recipe for success. And you also get the recipe or the way to avoid dropping off the cliff or the failures, okay? You get this honed down, and every time you go through the process, it gets a little easier and a little more streamlined. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be kumbaya, let me focus and go om and it's okay. Now, oming is great, not necessarily for the reason you think. The reason the monks chant Om and people chant Om, they think it's like this big spiritual thing. When you Om or hum, it releases nitric oxide, which opens up your blood vessels, which makes you think clearer, makes your heart more efficient, makes more oxygen get to your body. Boom! And then if you got a spiritual side to it too, or prayer or oming or whatever you do, great. That's amazing. But there is a physiological response to Om or hum that works, and it's funny because, people are like, I never took you for one of those, monk types with the oming shit, coach. Well, no, it's not about that. I don't sit in a corner and om all day long and hope something happens. But at the end of my yoga practice, I'll do the om thing, and it's like, all of a sudden you feel it, all your blood vessels open. To me, it can't be a bad thing to have less constricted blood vessels, means lower blood pressure, means more oxygen flow to your brain and body. Let me not do that because it sounds weird. Okay? Well, let me tell you something. If you're that person that's still on this show and you're going, I don't know about that because it sounds weird. I'm not doing that. I'm not drinking celery juice. That's weird. Then you're in the wrong place. Well, not even. You're not in the wrong place. You're just not ready. It's not about kumbaya and omen and sitting in a circle and philosophizing about it. It's about taking action that makes your body, your mind, and your soul work better. Okay? I mentioned prayer a lot. Personally, I think prayer is amazing. You connect to your creator. I call mine God, Jesus. However you call your creator is up to you. The thing that I find in this world is people that look up to a higher being, no matter how they call him or her, tend to be much better people in their daily activities and the way they treat each other. And that's where I go, okay, I have my beliefs, but I also have watched and seen, okay, people that believe a little differently than me, but have faith of some sort, are still, much better people. It's these people that have no faith or worship a rock sitting out in their front yard or think it's all about just them. Those are the people that are out there committing crimes and hurting people without any remorse. But anybody who's got some faith in something beyond themselves tends to have accountability and so forth. Pretty cool concept. But like my original point that was doing an Om is not, maybe for you it is a very spiritual thing, and I'm not knocking that. But what I'm saying is there's many aspects to each part of what you do and the way you plan your day, your week, your progress, your success. And when you do this, learn from it and see what works. A lot of people find if they wake up and pray or have a moment of gratitude, they have a much better day. Okay? Now, I don't know if they get extra special blessings for doing that, or if it's just their mindset, or if they're calmer because they do that. That's just an observation that I've made over time. Now, people who get up and also exercise tend to have a healthier lifestyle overall, tend to be more energetic. And it doesn't mean you go to the gym at 4:30 in the morning, trying to push through it and you're just not at your best and you're exhausted. That might mean that you do your heavier workout later in the day. Okay, that's more me. I'm more of an afternoon guy when it comes to lifting. But I'm hitting that rebounder in yoga first thing in the morning because it works for me. It gets the blood going without going, all right, I'm going to be up from 4:30 till 6 in the gym and I'm going to hate every second of it. I would not enjoy that at that hour. I used to enjoy teaching boot camp at that hour, but I would not enjoy doing my heaviest workout first thing in the morning, but I enjoy getting the blood flowing right away. Listen to something really motivating, and get going and get the blood flowing, and then eat a really nourishing, healthy breakfast and go, and then teach, come on and share and teach. I say teach a lot of times when it comes to the show, because that's what it's designed to be, is something to teach you some skills to make your life better. That's my mission in doing this. Not to get there and go, okay, look at me, look at mine, look at what I did. Look, I share a lot about myself because I think that helps you relate. Okay? Not perfect. Wasn't always perfect. Not perfect now. And have a long, long way to go myself on a lot of projects I'm working on. But being able to share with you guys and teach you guys also holds me accountable. Gets me going in the right direction too. That's my little selfish little secret of why I do this. When I see you guys succeed and I give you something and I see you run with it and it works, I go, oh yeah, I got to remind myself to do that too. And it's okay to be selfish a little bit. To take care of yourself and grow yourself, because you can't do much for anybody else when you don't have much to pull from. Okay? Until you have something to give, think of advice. How many family members, friends, people around you give you advice that you're like, that isn't for me? I disagree. Well, they're giving you advice from an empty tank. Then somebody comes along and gives you that piece of advice that you go, holy crap, this is the one. This is the missing piece. And usually you look at that person, the reason they had some good advice to give you was because they have a full tank. They already lived that good advice. You can look and go, I see where that worked out really, really well in their life. Whew! Woo! Cool stuff. All right, let's go, guys. Time to rock and roll, because I see the time clicking here, and I am respectful of your time because you got a lot to do. You got some homework for me, and you got a big, beautiful week to do for yourself here, guys. All right, so your assignment for the week. Comment and share your successes on your social media, my social media, and use the hashtag Coach Lou, COACHLEW. In case you don't know, my name is spelled L-E-W. Can't tell you how many people spell it L-O-U, and I don't care. I always say, don't care what you call me as long as you call me. No, seriously. So hashtag it Coach Lou so I can find you. Welcome to your next level, guys. If you feel good already, imagine what lies ahead. If you feel like, oh man, I'm on the show this morning and he really hasn't, I really haven't lived up to what you know, he's been teaching, and I know I should, and start today. What? You're not going to get mad at me? Oh, why am I going to get mad at you? Start today. There's an old saying, when is the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago, of course. When's the second best time? Today, if you haven't planted the tree. Makes sense, right? You can't go back to last week. You can't go back to last month. Not happening. So when is the best time to plant that seed for the next level of you? Today, here and now. Guys, it's been awesome to be with you this morning. I want to thank you and congratulate you for taking the time to make and build a better you. Live with faith, energy, passion, always live your dreams. This is Coach Lou. I'll see you next week on the show and somewhere in between. Be blessed. Have an amazing day, guys. Thanks a lot.
Ready to take it to the next level? Next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream.